In the opening sequence, did you see some clips from my friend Ray's place? Ray owns an amazing antique shop in Westerlo, New York. Chipped, tarnished, and torn. Go take a look at it. Tell him I sent you. Me and the YouTube community built a teepee this week. Amazing. Later in the video, I'll talk more about it. I started my Rockler video this week. It's an involved process. All the wood was cut at a sawmill about 4 years ago. It's been drying in the container. I should have this video out by Monday. Tomorrow I will release my DeWalt sponsored video. This video utilizes 2 new saw blades that came out by DeWalt, and there's going to be a little bit of a giveaway. If you enter by August 4th, you'll have a chance to win a circular saw and a bunch of blades. There'll be a few runner-ups who will also win blades. The video will be out tomorrow. Take a look in the description for details about the contest. I started 2 plasma projects this week. I'm making a steel axe handle. Boy, that's gonna be too heavy. That's gonna ring in your hands. That's gonna be bad. Someone's gonna get killed. And a vice stand. Remember I made a vice stand? And everybody told me I did a really bad job and that I should have used my plasma cutter? Let's see what the comments are when I use my plasma cutter. A couple of weeks ago in my upstate community, sounds like the rooster's doing his business. A couple of weeks ago in my upstate community here in the Catskills, it was Irish Arts Week. People come from all around the country with violins, fiddles, music. They trade ideas, concepts, art. I struck up a conversation with 2 guys at the local cafe. Turns out they're amazing artists and craftsmen. Check out Jeff and John. How often do you make?
Just a couple a year. It takes months, to start to finish.
Wow.
It's just, and that's the fun part, because I got the leather working, the woodworking, the metal working inside, and lathes and milling machines. And
wow. So you have like 50 disciplines to put this together, from machining to bookbinding.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Wow, that's great.
I'm Jeff Thomas, and I'm a concertina maker. Squeeze box, so it's kind of related to harmonica and accordion and that family. I'd been playing concertina, that's for 25 years or so now. They're a lot more prevalent in the world now, but at the time they were kind of hard to find. So it's all, oh man. Each button has a lever and a spring that opens the pad, and that lets the air get into each of these chambers. And so underneath it's just the holes for it. Really.
Oh man alive.
And then, so this is where all the work is. So that's kind of the cardstock skeleton I was mentioning for the bellows. By the time I decided to make my own instruments, I'd kind of gone through a very fallen apart beginner level up to a really nice instrument. And so I knew that if I'm, I have to want to play whatever I'm going to make. So I've been kind of... Each reed is basically a separate instrument. And so there's 2 per chamber, one on the top and then one on the bottom for either the push or the pull.
Where can anybody find you?
ThomasConcertinas.com is my website.
This is African blackwood, Dalbergia melanoxylon. That's the Latin name. It's rosewood, technically.
How long have you been making flutes?
23 years. John Gallagher, website Gallagher Flutes, and it's basically a one horse shop, you know.
Very cool.
It's a conical bore flute. Now this is really different from a modern flute. So you can see what the hole size is here, the bore. You know, it's just big enough for my little finger. But if I take it off here, you know, I can.
Oh yeah.
It's much bigger.
So the sound is getting tapered as it exits.
Yeah, exactly. It helps with.
Or compressed rather.
Yeah, and the interior is a very complex shape, and it's I measure old historic instruments. Make a reamer out of drill rod. So I measure the bore and plot it out, and I measure basically every 1/10 of a millimeter in diameter.
Wow.
So that's like that thickness, right, or less. That's actually heavy paper. So I just soldered on a piece of wire, silver wire, and then I, you know, make the spring, and then I put it on, drill a hole in it, put it on, and then peen it over. These are hand forged. For the musical people out there, it's a D major scale if you uncover the holes one by one. I made this flute about 15 years ago, and it's made everything. So the keys are hand forged. You know,
from silver?
Yeah, sterling. And I start out with like 1/8 inch sheet or like 50,000th sheet. I can either roll the tube out of sheet, silver solder it, and then draw mandrels through it to precise diameters, or I can start with tubing that's undersized. I run the threaded rod up through it, right, and then I screw on this mandrel, which is tapered like that.
So you just pull it down through it,
and it takes a good bit of pressure. And
sure.
And if you hold your hand on it as you're pulling it through, it feels like it's alive.
That's great.
Weird. But anyway, it's a way I can make precision tubing to exactly the diameter. Because I make flutes in all these different pitches.
Beautiful.
Very cool. Yeah, that's that.
So about 4 years ago, Taylor had this idea to build a teepee in the backyard. Every free moment we had, when are we going to build a teepee? It seemed like we had a couple days off. When are we going to build a teepee? It never got done. A couple months ago, she said, hey, why don't you invite some friends that you know from YouTube to come over and help build the teepee? Maybe everybody can get some content. I invited a few people, more than a few people. I don't know, maybe 30? We didn't keep count. 35, 40 people came through. Some stayed a day, some stayed 2 days, some stayed 4 days, some stayed 5 days. It was an amazing week. We had such a great time. We traded ideas, we shared knowledge, we taught each other stuff, we inspired each other. It was such an amazing week. If you didn't get invited, there's gonna be next year. This was just a test. We really didn't know what to expect. We didn't know who was gonna come, who didn't wanna come. We didn't know if the house could handle this many people. Giaco and Laura came first, so they were here the longest. We cut down trees, we prepared the trees with draw knives, and Taylor bought this teepee a few years ago from a place called Colorado Yurt, and we bought the tarp itself, and we put this teepee together, and it was such an accomplishment. It wasn't put together right, or there was just some of the sizing was off. Took it apart, put it back together, realized again what was wrong, took it apart a third time, put it back together. I want to thank everybody that came and participated and hung out, had fun, shared knowledge, shared ideas. It was such an amazing time, and I don't know, maybe this is gonna become my Burning Man. Who knows? I wanna try and bring more people up to this area. Who knows what's gonna happen, but it was a lot of fun and it was a wonderful test. And there's gonna be so much content from this whole event. You're gonna see it on everybody else's channel. I'm gonna try and link everybody that was here down below. Mostly YouTubers, some Instagrammers, and also just a lot of friends. So if below there is not somebody that participated, let me know right away and I will add your name to the link. Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy this video of the teepee being built. this on? Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
I thought it was a picture. I'm Laura Kampf. I have a YouTube channel as well. And I really enjoyed the weekend, Jimmy. Thank you so much. Yeah,
it was amazing.
It was great.
It was so nice to have all you guys here. I wish I could have interviewed everybody, but you're representing the whole group. So. No pressure.
No pressure at all. Is the interview over or is there more?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye. Did you have fun?
Honestly, like,
A lot.
come over and
I thought you were going to say no.
project or
Actually, yeah, no, not really.
Bye. So thank you.
Thank you. See you next week.